Just like that. Week 3. We're moving right along, aren't we? But before we dive into today's video, there's some things that I want to kind of just highlight or talk about. First, just like last week's video, today's clip is not very long, which is a good thing. So it doesn't mean it's any less impactful, again, like last week. I've got some nuggets that I want to highlight and address. But secondly, I want to talk to the women that are watching this video. If you comment below and let me know if the past 2 weeks so far has impacted you in some sort of way, if it has changed your perspective and changed your approach to how you're living life now. If you have kind of thought about things differently and were like, that's actually true. I have been doing that, or I haven't really been doing that. Whatever it might be. Or I haven't really thought of it that way, and I'm going to start looking at things that way now. Comment below and let me know. For those of you that have already been living this way and kind of implementing this stuff, what Erica has addressed the last 2 weeks, also, I would like to hear from you. Comment below or send me an email. The email's in the description. But I'd like to know. I'd like to get some feedback. And if there's some women that are watching that either don't really agree with everything that Erica has mentioned, or there's just some caveats that you're like, yeah, well, that might be true, but you're not really thinking about this, or you're not really thinking about this, then I'd like to hear from you as well and let me know, because that's how we kind of grow and learn, is by hearing different ideas and kind of bouncing them off of each other. So let me know, either way, wherever you land. But with that said, I want to dive into today's video. So without further ado, cue the intro.
The hidden years, the years of uncertainty in the battlefield of silent faithfulness, they're never wasted. They're a refining fire, chiseling your soul so that you can carry the weight of the calling that God has for you. And one day you'll look back on the season and you'll be like, I get it now. I see why I had to let that guy go. He was the distraction. I'm married to this guy. I have amazing babies. I have the life that I've always wanted. You just have to trust. You have to trust. And while you're trusting, don't grow dull. Agreement without action is disobedience, and the enemy disguises bondage as empowerment. So resist deception. Revival is not going to come through louder politicians and more influencers.
Now, we're all probably familiar with the saying, hindsight is 20/20. But I wonder how many of us remind ourselves of this. Because like Erica was saying in that clip, when she said, oh, you might say later on, oh, I get it now. I get it why I had to let this guy go, and now I'm with this person and I have babies and everything like that. Hindsight is 20/20. You break up with somebody and you might not understand why. It might feel like the rug is pulled out from under you. You just don't get it. You're like, God must not care. On the contrary, God cares so much that he knows the person that you should be with. And if it's not that person, then you're going to break up. And you might not see it right then and there. You're too deep in the situation. It's too personal for you. You need some distance before you can actually see why there was a reason why you broke up. So I would just say for that, trust God. If you're hearing this stuff and you know that you're with somebody, you have a boyfriend, and he is not a man of God, break up. Break up. Like Erica was saying in week 1 from the clip that I showed you, let him go. Let him go. So just know that. Hindsight is 2020. Give some distance. Break up and wait and see. Because perhaps maybe the person that God has for you is going to be the next person that you meet. Or the person after that. Who knows? But the point is, you're never going to meet this person if you keep staying with the one that you're not supposed to be with. Mr. Wrong. Now, the second thing I want to highlight and the second thing I want to address is the other thing that she said here, and that's agreement without action is disobedience. And it reminds me of this scripture in Matthew chapter 21, verses 28 to 32, but the focus that I really want to hone in on is just 28 to 30. And this is Jesus talking. It's the parable of the two sons. It says, "What do you think? There was a man who had 2 sons. He went to the first and said, 'Son, go and work today in the vineyard.' 'I will not,' he answered. But later he changed his mind and went. Then the father went to the other son and said the same thing. He answered, 'I will, sir,' but he did not go." That sounds an awful lot like what Erica was saying. Agreement without action is disobedience. Because his dad says, go work in the vineyard, and he's like, I will. And then he doesn't go. So you could be hearing these things from week 1, week 2, and even today. And you could be totally agreeing. Yes, totally, exactly. Say it louder for the people in the back. And then yet, you know that you need to change, but you don't. Because you're scared, you are too set in your ways. Whatever the case might be, just know that agreement without action is disobedience. So let that sink in. If you're not making the changes that you know you need to make, even though you agree that you need to make changes, then you are being disobedient. And last, the final point that I really want to highlight that she talked about there was this: the enemy disguises bondage as empowerment. And it goes back to what I was really talking about the last 2 weeks, about how women in particular are sold this lie about being girl bosses and climbing the corporate ladder. And it's bondage. But the enemy disguises it as empowerment. Women are told that it's empowering to, be the head of a company or a CEO or whatever it might be, to climb the corporate ladder. And it's not empowering. It's bondage, because what the true fulfillment in life is to have a family. Now, I'm not saying that women cannot do both. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm saying the women who forego having families because they believe this lie of empowerment and being a girl boss, and that is the route that they take, not because they want to and they really don't want to have kids, because like I mentioned before, there's some people that really aren't cut out to be parents, and that's fine. But I'm talking to the people that, the women in particular, that have believed this lie that has been sold to them, that being a girl boss is empowering, to climb the corporate ladder is empowering. And that's a lie. It's bondage. Because you will encounter trouble, trials, struggles. It's a fact of life. Everybody is going to encounter that. And when you do, if you don't have any family to lean on, when you look back and you find yourself in some sort of situation and you don't have a husband to kind of lean on for support, you don't have kids to kind of help support you as well, families to kind of talk to as a sounding board, as a way to kind of help you get through these tough times, then what is this for? When you look at the end of your life, are you going to regret not climbing the corporate ladder? Or are you going to regret not having kids? Not having something that you'll be able to leave them, that they can kind of be a representative for you. That is more empowering. So don't believe this empowerment lie, because it's bondage, and the enemy likes to disguise it as empowerment. So I hope this video, if not the other two, then perhaps maybe this one helped encourage you to make some changes and do things differently and reevaluate, take an inventory, whatever it might be. Just press in, and if you agree and you know that you're not living the way you're supposed to be living, that you're not doing things the way you're supposed to be doing them, then take some action, make some changes. Because if you just keep staying and doing the same thing, and you know that it's wrong, that you need to make some changes, then it's disobedience if you're continuing to just live the same. And don't live in disobedience. So I thank you guys so much for watching. And women, please, again, comment below and let me know your thoughts. Let me know how this series so far has helped you. We're going to round out the series next week with a really good one. So please stay tuned for that and tune in next week. But until then, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, God bless.